Yes, people, and welcome back to Normski TV and the What's Going On podcast. Listen, people, before you do anything, please hit the like button and subscribe and share. I'm only 7 away from 500 subscribers. That's my journey. I need to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the season. Listen, Arsenal can't do it for me, so I know the community, you can do it for me. So please share it around. Hit that like button, subscribe and share if you are new. And we have got a lot to talk about on tonight's show. I've got a couple of guests in the green room waiting to come on. I'm really blessed up to them for sharing and sparing their time. Time is precious. We know they've got lots of things to do rather than talking about their clubs. But look, they're here. And listen, really big up to them. But listen, hit the like button, people. Subscribe and share if you are new. Listen, without further ado, I'm not going to muck about. I'm going to bring on Mr. JP. Yo.
Yes, what are you saying?
Mr. Kofi Slot, brother. Yeah, man.
Yes,
He's in the green and gold.
What are you saying, Kofi?
I'm not facing today, you know.
Don't worry, Kofi, man. Don't worry, bro. We got your back, man.
Turn on your camera, son.
I'm just having blood pressure issues today, man. So, Liverpool put me through the mire, and I'm just not in the mood.
I'm in the mood for dancing. No dancing. Not for you, bro.
Listen.
Big up, Junior. What you say, man? Big up to you, bro. Big up to you, brother. Yes, Mr. Craig. Always AFC. Always big up to you. How you doing, my brother? Good to have you on.
Yeah,
man. Listen,
and he's a faithful.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. This guy is everywhere. That's why AFC always normally has everywhere, because this guy is everywhere, man. I'm telling you, like, I'm sure this guy. I don't know how he does it, brother. I don't know how he gets around the streets, but big up to you, brother. Big up to you. Okay, let me add a Mr. Big D. Unusually late, but lateness is greatness, as they will say.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
Yes, Big D, man.
I know you do, bro. I see you got the green and gold at the back, and Jay's wearing his green and gold. Well, go on here.
The club need to get sold, bruh. Sell my club, all of it.
This is the closest I got to a Man United green and gold. So.
Yeah, no, is that the Jamaica?
Yeah, Jamaica. Jamaica.
Yeah, man. Nah, it's really nice.
Big up, Mr.
Boy.
Who's managing that again? Mr.
What's his name? Man United guy.
Steve McLaren.
Steve McLaren.
Man. Yeah, they got this guy speaking patois and everything.
I was going to say, how's he getting on with the patois? Is he getting on good with that?
He's loving it, mate. He's loving the food, everything. They're looking after him in yard. You know what I mean?
Listen to me. Congrats to Newcastle. They absolutely deserved it. They bullied Liverpool. My missus, Nan, and Grandad are Geordies, both 94 years old. They were crying their eyes out. Listen, big up to Newcastle. Notice Kofi Slot has not got his camera on.
Who did you say is Geordies? Who did you say what?
His granddad. Both his granddad. Nan
Who's granddad, sorry? Who's Nan and granddad?
AFC always.
Oh, sorry. AFC
Craig,
always.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. Nice one, man. Congrats.
Good win. Yeah, man. Absolutely fantastic win.
I thought you were saying your missus, for a minute. That's why I was
No.
Yes, Craig.
She's Liverpool, man. She's in Liverpool. She wasn't too happy.
I hope Joe weren't crying in the car, Norm. That wouldn't be cool, man. Man. She was for my brother, Not a word from my younger brother. Not a single word from him. My best man. My brother and my best man are Liverpool fans. Hardcore. Never from either of them.
We got
Jancy's the best Liverpool fan that I know, so I feel for Jancy, but the rest of them I couldn't care less, man.
Thanks.
Hey, hold on a second. Hey, Jay, they're talking about you.
Sorry, Kofi,
well, at least you're honest.
What I would say though, you got some faceless panel people on there that's not showing their face. I wonder why, but listen, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. Yes, man. Aaron, what you say, man? Please go and talk. Listen, go and subscribe to this guy. Absolutely doing bits on his channel, getting everywhere just like everybody else. Me and him, we've set up a business called IT Solutions. So if you want to find any midfielders that want to play in the striker position, me and Aaron are the ones. You understand? Big up to Aaron, man. What you're saying? Go and subscribe to his channel. Funny enough, after this, I'm going on another stream. I think Aaron's going to be on that with Rashid. Looking at. Funny enough, Jay, it's funny when if you read the mind. When Chili put the thing in the chat about. the Tottenham thing. You said which two players in this squad would make the 2004 Invincibles. None. I said it. None. If anything, Saliba and Gabriel on the bench with Saka.
Saka on the bench. That's exactly what I thought. That was three on the bench.
You get where I'm going with that. You get where I'm going with that, bro.
But I liked Redknapp's point. We say these players are better and they're this and they're that, but are they?
Yeah.
What to say on this trade with the 99 squad?
Yeah.
We look
big
at
up. We say sentiments, man. Big up to you, man.
And you probably take Bruno on the bench.
On the bench, Steve. That's at best.
Yeah, Bruno on the bench, and maybe Ahmad as well on the bench.
I say, what you're saying? Which this current squad with what? Which squad?
With the 99 treble winning team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
None of them are getting none.
No. I'm saying on the bench now.
Bro, yeah, I don't even know about that, you know.
Bruno and Ahmad. That's all I put on the bench out of this lot.
I'm not even putting Ahmad. Ahmad doesn't even hit the bench for me, D. It's Bruno on his own, mate.
It's Bruno.
I don't know, man. That'd be called Messi, the euphoric Messi.
No, I'm not talking starting, you know. I'm talking if I got 7 subs, I'm going to throw him in there. He's better than Fletcher. Don't be funny. He's better than Fletcher.
No way.
He's better than Fletcher.
Yeah, but guys,
he's better than Phil Neville as well. He's better than Phil Neville as well.
The passion for the game. The passion for the game is changing.
Big up, yes, to what you say, yes, to TV. Big up to you. Please go and subscribe to this guy, my man, Chelsea guy in the house. You know what I'm saying? Yes, man. Yes. People coming in. Yeah. Listen, look, because obviously we got a lot to talk about. And listen, let's just put our hands together. 70 years in the making.
I know, yeah.
Let's not
get in their props, boy.
Let's not clap on.
At least come on camera for that part.
You know what?
Put your camera on, man. What's going on, brother? Put your camera on, man.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
This is how embarrassed this guy is, you know. Kofi, you're about to go and lift the Premier League title, man. Come on, man.
I know, but look. The passion, man.
I hear that, man.
I'm just
but I'll tell you what, though, Normski. If these lot drop 2 games, I'll be hopeful, Normski, because the squeaky bum team will
stop it, man. Stop it.
I'm just saying, mate.
Listen, guys.
Man's a little bit rattled.
You're setting them up, innit, D?
You're setting them up. Listen, hear me out, guys. There was a guy I was watching on YouTube. There was a guy I was watching on YouTube, and he was actually analysing our last 9 games from last season. And he said, look, if you look at the analysis from last season and how we dropped so many points towards the back end of the season, or the last 9 games, and looking at our fixture list coming into the running, it could get scary, you know, for us.
Yeah, I don't think we got the players to do it. I don't think we got the players to do it, mate. You know what I mean? And the mentality to do it. You know what I'm trying to say. But look, let's start off with, because that is obviously the most prominent game that happened at the weekend, and like big up to Newcastle. 70 years in the making. 1955 was the last time, they lifted a major domestic trophy, and today, Sunday, Liverpool didn't turn up. They got played off the park, and you know what? I would probably put it down to, Kofi, you can agree with me or not agree with me. I could probably put it down to the fact that you've gone out in a competition this week now. That's like, you know, it's been a pretty bad week for you. Going out in the last 16 against PSG, winning on penalties. Nuno, don't know what the man was doing there, but listen, it is what it is, and you're out of 2 cup games now. And look, listen, Newcastle were all over you, mate, and you did look leggy. What? I'm not gonna lie, you did look leggy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think also Eddie Howe got tactically right, you know.
Yeah,
because the man marking tactic worked, and Liverpool didn't have an answer to it.
Let's have Cole. Can you share your stats for Mo Salah?
Yes, Lee.
How many shots did he have on target, and how many assists did he have, and how many goals did he have in that game?
No, can you do it from your end?
No, I can.
He struggles in finals, though, don't you know?
There you go, Cole.
He struggled in practically every final that he's played in, though.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to show up. He doesn't seem to show up when it comes to finals.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem to show up, and it's a bit.
Which is kind of wild, isn't it?
Yes, Luca, we say go and subscribe to Luca Talks Football. Go and subscribe to him. Big up to him. But 1955, 70 years in the making, and let me say this, how I wish I had this guy in our team.
Man, he's gonna cost you 130 mil, Norms.
Bro, what a player!
At least
a player. Listen, we could have got this guy for 60 odd million when he was at Real Sociedad, and we decided that we're gonna not go with this guy and go with Havertz.
Oh, is that what he was going for then?
Yeah.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah, for Real Sociedad.
And that was probably euros rather than pounds. No, it's probably euros, wasn't it?
No, it was 63 million pounds.
Pounds.
Yeah, 63 million pounds. Yeah, man. 63
yes,
million
Lee, big up yourself, man.
Yeah, and we've missed out on it. And now this guy, they're talking over 100 mil. The thing I suppose the question we probably want to ask ourselves is if it's you, JP, you know, you've won a domestic title after 70 years. This guy's going to be immortalized now. You know what I mean? Probably put a statue of him, Eddie Howe. Listen, big up to Eddie Howe.
Dan Burn will probably get him.
That header was nuts, wasn't it?
Nuts, brother.
That was a bad boy header.
Childhood supporter, you know, I mean, played in the low leagues, went to Brighton, and then, you know,
he's a unit as well, Norm.
Yeah, man.
He's a big brother.
This guy plays at what is it? Left back? Is it left back he plays at?
Something like that. He's a fullback. He's a fullback, isn't he?
Yeah.
He ain't that great either.
He ain't that great, but bro, you know, you do.
He's just good in the air.
This is what you call clutch moments. Yeah, he's had a clutch moments. You know what I mean? This guy's about 6'6", 6'7". Do you know what I mean? What a header! I mean, you look at it, so the goalkeeper done better. But when you look at Batman, from how far out he was, you know, Kelly was nowhere near it.
Yeah, but I look at the mismatch, and McAllister was marking him.
Yes, Calvin.
Yeah.
So why you put McAllister? Put a tall guy against him just to beef up that contest. But I don't know.
Yeah, that has to be Van Dijk, Kofi.
Exactly.
Cole, what would you say? What did you think in that game? Did you think that Slot got it wrong? You know, your players did look a little bit on the leggy side, but what was your thoughts just quickly on that? What was your thoughts on that?
There was no desire. It was like you're in a cup final, but you can't even play out the ball just to get past the Newcastle defense. It was like I was watching probably a schoolboy game or something like that. It was just Newcastle just all over
aggressive. They were aggressive. You know, when you got the likes of Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton in that midfield, you know what I'm saying? Listen, you had they had Thingy missing. What's the guy? He got suspended. What's their right winger? That got suspended.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw him. Yeah.
And look what they done. You know what I mean? As somebody said in the chat earlier on, every player man of the match. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I look at our club, 32 years now since we've won a Carabao Cup, or what was then known as the Milk Cup, when we beat Sheffield United back in '93. Yeah, Paul Merson, Steve Morrow scored in that game. Yeah. And I look at that and think, bro, we could have been there, but we went to Newcastle at home over 2 legs and lose 4-0. I think we only had 1 or 2 shots on target over both legs, and we have not won there in this season 3 times now. Yeah, they're probably going to come and beat us at the Emirates in the Premier League game as well. But this Eddie Howe, you know, he's been in one final more than Arteta. Yeah, he's been in one final more than Arteta. He's got himself a domestic cup. Yes, Arteta got an FA Cup that was with Unai Emery's men, and he's been in one more, you know, final than he had, and he's managed Newcastle less. He's done it in less time than Arteta has. So you have to take it out to Eddie Howe. This guy's coming from lower leagues. Yeah, there's a stat out that say he's the only Englishman since 2008 to win a domestic cup. Ever since then, it's been foreign coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, big up to Eddie Howe. for doing that. And a lot of people, I remember when he took Bournemouth from the lower leagues right the way up. So that's what I call a proper face.
Yeah,
what I call a proper face. When he took over Newcastle, they were languishing, above the relegation zone. Yeah, finished in Europe 2 seasons ago. Last season they missed out. This season they might make the Conference League, but listen, at least they've got a domestic cup under their sleeve now, and it breeds a sense of winning.
Sorry, go on, mate. This trophy puts them in Europe, Norms.
Well, I would assume so. I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think the conference.
The FA Cup.
A Conference League.
Squad, isn't it Europa
Was
League?
it the FA Cup?
Oh, it might be the FA Cup.
The FA Cup definitely puts you into the Europa.
I'm sure.
But
I'm sure it does give you Europe. I'm sure it gives you Europe.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but I think conference, MJ.
Right.
That's what I thought.
I think the conference for this one, and then the FA Cup is the Europa League, and then obviously your top 5 this year for Champions League.
Yeah. And look, Eddie Howe spent 400 million less to Arteta's 800 million that he spent. So he's done it with less money as well. Yeah, he's done it with less money as well. So you've got to take that as a massive achievement by Newcastle.
Yeah.
And, I'm sitting there watching that game and I say to myself, that could have been us. You know what I mean? That could have been us in the final. You know what I mean? But
they get Europa League. They get Europa League.
Is it?
Europa League.
Yeah, that's nice.
Look at that.
Good.
Look at that, bro. So I know, listen, we'll come to you. I know you got Leon, you guys have got Leon. I don't know what's gonna go on there. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be interesting. But listen, you had a great time, winning against Real Sociedad. And I'm gonna tell you now, D and JP, your captain has stepped up. You cannot say he has not stepped up in these last few games.
No argument.
From mate. I mean? As much as I can't stand the brother, he's done a lot more than what I've done. So I'm saying that, mate.
They have to get in some help then. If he's stepping up, you have to get in the right help then in the summer. If Bruno's staying, if he's going to stay, which he's got that new contract, so I don't. No one's paying him that kind of money. He's not going anywhere. So
how much is there's 300 or something?
320.
There's talk that is it Saudi or someone might offer 90 million or plan to offer 90 million for him in the summer.
For real. And you know these guys are taking up money, right?
I take it too.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you're going to need it because look. Let me just quickly say what's on the menu, as I forgot to do that. My manners, and I actually forgot to say. I'll go around the table and ask you how you are. So, how you good? Just say your quick word.
Yeah, we're good, man. We're good.
You're good. You're good. Jay, how you doing, bro? You good?
Good, thanks, brother. Very good.
And Kofi, unmute your mic. How you doing?
Yeah.
Kofi, it's just one game, man. You got
one game, bro.
No, but
it's one.
Yeah, but Jay, it's not just the one game. It's the Wednesday loss against PSG, and then man.
Yeah, it's a bad week at the office.
Okay, and as I said, listen, we know Premier review ratings and all of that. We're going to look at that. If there is anything that we need to talk about with Ref Watch, then if you want to highlight something, bring it up, people. It's there. 70 years in the making. Magpies finally get over the line. We've kind of talked about, and big up to them for doing that. Isak, Dan Burn, got to be immortalized. Fantastic. Does Simon Jordan have a point regarding Man U? Listen to this and make your mind up. I will play the thing. You probably heard it again, but I'm going to play it again because I want to ask a flip question because you obviously didn't take kindly to a certain person talking about your club and what they were going to do in terms of building a new stadium and all of that. You didn't really appreciate his comments. So let's see what answers you come up with. And let's talk on this. Talk on this one. It's been a bad week for the pool. Are they bottle jobs? What sayest thou, Mr. Kofi Slot? And the last thing is, what's going on prediction results? Game week 29 and what's going on fantasy Prem shout out. And let me just give a big hand to JP for getting into double figures.
Oh, get in!
Wow.
I was just shot. I nearly got 3 points though. This is why I don't like fantasy football, because I'm thinking in my head, go on, score, Leicester. I want my 3 points, man.
What did you say? 3-1, Jay? You said 3-1.
He said 3-1. Yeah, so he was winning Leicester. Please, Jamie Vardy.
That's why I always say to you, I don't do fantasy. I can't take these things, man.
Steve Bruce wasn't a bad manager, but the owner might actually keep club solvent until the Arabs came in. Yeah, but I tell you what, the Geordie fans hated him.
They hated
him. Hated him.
He got blamed for everything.
Yeah, this guy. I mean, the owners. I mean, listen, they got a country backing them. And listen, once the PSR or whatever, once the reins come off, these guys are going to be able to spend, guys. Yeah. And let's look out for next summer because they haven't been able to spend over the last couple of years because it's easy for the owners to just go in their pocket and go down to that, but they have to be shown to be earning money, so they can't do that. But now, because they've not bought, because they didn't really spend last season as such compared to like some of our clubs and whatever. So they're going to be spending in the summer. So we'll watch out. And I just pose a quick question: do you think Isak, because obviously we're linked with him, Liverpool are linked with him, Kofi, and I suppose there's going to be other clubs like maybe Barcelona. Do you think that Isak will leave Newcastle, or do you think he might say to them, "Listen, I'll give you another year"? Because look, they're gonna get Europa or Conference League or Europa League, which is Europe, which is they could possibly go from there and get into a Champions League position. But do you think that if they don't make, because I mean, where are they currently in the league? They're sitting, is it about 6th or 7th? I can't even remember where they are in the league. Let's have a quick look at the table where they are and what points they're on. So they're currently currently on 6th place, a point behind Man City, and they played a game less, and that's because of the Carabao Cup. So they're going to have a game in hand. They're on 47 points, sitting 6th with 9 games left to play. Do you think, guys, that there's a possibility that they can make the top 5, because top 5 is going to mean they get into Champions League, or even go up further and make top 4? What's your thoughts on that? And if they do make top 4, do you think Isak will stay? We also linked with Bruno Guimaraes as well. Do you think he will stay, or do you think if they don't and they get into Europa League, that he might consider live Arsenal, which I don't know if Arsenal are going to be able to spend that sort of money, because Newcastle want 150 mil, 100 to 150 mil. I don't think Arsenal are going to be able to spend that kind of money unless we sell one of our big players to fund that, because we need to sell. You know what I mean? Apparently we've got a £300 million war chest, but that's that's them talking.
Is the question for the Norm? Would you sell Declan to get Isak?
No, I wouldn't sell Declan to get Isak.
And that's what I'm saying. If you look at your big assets, that's probably him and Saka.
I'm going to tell you what the big assets are. I wouldn't sell Saka. Our big assets are Saliba, Gabriel. They're our big assets, yeah. And at the moment, as you might have not heard or have heard, like there's a Saudi club's interested in him to triple up or whatever his wages. They're talking like 300 plus.
Oh, Saliba?
No, not Saliba. Gabriel Magalhaes.
Gabriel.
27. Yeah, he's 27. They're talking.
He's still young to go there, though, Norm.
No, but the thing is, he can go there because with defenders, yeah, he can go there and come back. He could do 2 years out there and come back, man.
Yeah, but would he, though, Norm?
I don't know. I don't know, because listen, at the start of this, I think it's the start of this season. Remember, Gabriel was on the bench because there was talk in the summer that he was going.
Yeah, and a bit of a fallout there, wasn't there?
Yeah. So he played. I can't remember who he played as the. I think he might have played. Was it Kivior? And he played what's the name at right back, Partey at right back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? So they're willing to smash the bank to get this guy. Now, will Arsenal be tempted? That's a question. Will Arsenal be tempted to say, bro, if they want to give us 80 million to 90 million, would Arsenal do it? Then if they did do it, I would then use that money to try and go and get any Isak or even a Gyökeres. Yeah, but I wouldn't like to lose them, because I think Gabriel's been our best defender this season.
Yep.
By far. It's absolutely.
And it's about the spine, Norm.
It's about the spine. Absolutely, Dean. Yeah. It's about the spine. And for me, I'll keep them. But I hear what you're saying. You have to sell one of your big assets to make it.
Sure.
Supposedly you've got £300 million war chest. Again, David Ornstein, all that man are talking about.
I think that's more than us, isn't it, Jay? Is that what it is, JP?
No, but the thing is, if I was Arsenal,
yeah, sorry,
how much would Martinelli go for?
Martinelli, if we could get 50 to 60, he's proper dropped off. If we could get about 50 to 60 mil for him, we'll take him, because he's still young. He's what, 24, 25?
Yeah, he's young. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But Trossard, they're talking about like the players that are likely to go in the summer, you're talking about Trossard, you're talking about they're going to probably go on a free. So those are the wages off the book. That's what's his name, Jorginho and Partey. Yeah, Trossard, you know what I mean? Get him off the books. Keep Martinelli, but get a better winger in his place. So we got depth with him coming off the bench. Yeah. So that's what, you know what I mean? But at the moment, the football that he's playing, yeah, man, people hit the streams, please, and hit that like button, please, and subscribe and share if you're new. Norms, 8 away from 5. Yeah, come on, people. I'm 8 away from 500 subs.
500 subs. Get in there, bro.
Do that, people. Please get me to that. Only Chelsea can sell like that. Yeah, well, that's it. They sell and flip. Yeah, sell and flip. You know what I mean? They bought 2 players. I mean, they when I say bought 2 players, they bought them ready. I think one of them is going back to Sporting Lisbon on loan, and then he'll come back in the 2026 season. Right. So yeah, they're doing their thing. But listen, Chelsea 1.5 billion, and we still beat them. And listen, that was like an end of season game. Sunday gone. Absolutely bore fest. Yeah. So enough said about Chelsea. You know what I mean? They obviously have to try and get, with that kind of money being spent on a thingy, you know, on the club, and they're playing like that. Yes, they've got a few injuries out. Cole Palmer's out. You know, you've got Ad Jackson out as well. So listen, they look like they're going to go on another rebuild again, you know, in the summer, which I'm flabbergasted. You know what I mean?
It's about the balance, though, Norm, isn't it? If you look at that squad, and they've probably got 2/3 of that squad, if not more, that are under 23. You know what I mean? So it's about balancing. You know, just say you got four senior pros with them young kids, as in 4 senior pros in your spine. Then you can gamble with that. But they got rid of most of their senior pro players, so it is a very young and naive football team, and as I said it so often, that they're very hot and cold, hit and miss, and when they're good, then it looks great, but when they're awful, it's like it's a struggle for them, you know. Even after spending all that money, and then obviously you've got the whole they're giving them the American sports contracts, 8 and 9 year, all that madness. It's like, come on, man. You know, it's not an American sport at the end of the day, but that's how they've tried to do business.
But you know what? The thing is, Bowley is the type of guy that would probably tease the market and say, okay, look, let me put up that 150 mil for Isak. Right. And then it just throws everything in the span of works, you know?
And don't be surprised, Kofi, if he does that. Just said, like
what was
Isak's won something.
Go back to one of those comments. What did it say?
It was when your phone. It was when your phone rang, innit?
Oh,
I think that's when your phone rang, mate. You know what I'm saying? But sorry. So, what was you saying? Who was talking just a minute ago?
It's not about Kofi mentioned Isak and the heavy money, but this is the problem. Once the Chelsea does that, because you remember it was City that started this madness by paying 50 million for fullbacks. You remember that, JP?
Yeah.
When you know what I mean? If a fullback
everyone they bought was 50 million at one point. They're buying everyone for 50 million.
And so they're the ones that ruined the transfer market from way back then, bringing in your Carl Walkers and all these guys, and you're like 50 million for right backs and left backs. So then now you're looking at strikers and midfielders. Everything's got to be 70, 80 million upwards. Otherwise, it's like
we paid 80 million for a centre back, D. So we had something to do with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's not even pay. We didn't get our pants pulled down with that one. Madness. But it's just not the way to do business now. And I don't see us doing business like that, Norm. I don't. I think we'll be looking at free agency, as the Americans would say, and trying to get some quality that is out of contract.
Yeah.
I mean. Someone asked me in a week if you think that United would do the pay-as-you-play rumour to bring back Pogba to the end of the season. And that wouldn't even surprise me because, like, how I see it,
Amarin needs legs, D. Yeah. He needs runners.
Why do you think his legs are gone?
Oh, he wasn't a runner when we had him.
No, but you have to remember, though, we were playing him in the 6th year. He's not 6.
Yeah, but the problem.
I don't think now.
Who's going to play him with now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who are you going to play him with now? The same problem exists. He's only good when he's got someone who plays good alongside him.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why I would play him in the 10.
I don't know, but he's not.
Like for me,
I just think Man United have moved on from Pogba.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You know,
but I've been hearing the rumors, and I'm saying, well, if he wants to come back and have a stink fest and get abused again, then I just don't see the point of him coming back. But the way this squad is light, you have to remember as well. We understand that the higher you finish in the league, the more money you get, and we're broke. So we've got to try and push at least to get to 12 or 11, just to get a bit more money and win the Europa. Because if we win the Europa, then it's fair game, I think, in terms of you playing Champions League football, the money that comes from that, the league finish won't really matter. But
do you think Ezzy's boys could do us a favour by actually sending Sancho back?
Do you want him back though, Jay?
No, of course not. But what I mean,
the thing is, there's talk about schools, isn't it? Yeah.
This is it. You almost can double up, can't you? Because you can get your, I don't know, whatever the number is for him, and then go and sell him to, I don't know, Borussia Dortmund for 20 million or something.
It's and the mere fact that Chelsea can just pay a fine. Apparently, it's a big fine as well. To say, yeah, my son.
I think it's something like 30 million. I don't know if Yasser will probably know.
30?
What it is.
Yes, big money.
But they only have to pay 24 million for him, or 25 million for him.
It's 25 million for him, but if they want to get out of it, they've got to pay.
Oh, it's more than what they have to pay.
Yeah, it's a penalty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's the wages as well, though, Jay. They're looking at the wages
but imagine
as well.
if they gave us, so that makes sense for Chelsea. Yeah. But imagine if they do that for us, and we can still sell him again. We're not going to give him away like someone else can come and buy him for 15 million or whatever it is.
But you know what, Jay? If I see Sancho on that United tour, listen, I'll be fuming, bro. I'm just like, nah, man, because that feels backwards to me. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole point. Obligation to buy. But I never knew you could buy out of the obligation. Now we're hearing that.
Apparently, people are saying if it is true, it's a first. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, listen.
But the manager wants him, though, innit? The manager actually wants. I know none of the players or the fans. None of the fans really want him to stay. But I think the manager does.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, if the manager wants him, I don't think he's going to really take much notice of what the fans want. Do you know what I'm saying? But I never thought that. Because listen, the fans were bigging him up. They were laughing at you guys and saying, "Thank you very much." You know.
What did we say? But what did Man United fans say? Calm down. Give it time. You'll see the real Sancho. So the same thing about Rashford. Yeah. And people are making it out like Rashford's gone to Aston Villa and he's tearing it up. And I'm thinking, what version of the Rashford are they seeing? Right. I ain't seen it.
Right. Yeah.
Nah. And the thing is, even Tuchel picking him for England actually helps Man United out.
Yeah.
So he's back in the England squad now. Yeah. That's another thing.
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm loving it, mate.
I mean, off the back of his performance, off the back of his performance, he's ended up getting a call up. And just quickly, just sidetrack a minute, guys. What go on with this England thing?
No Forest players, man. Come on, man. What's he doing?
That's what I'm saying. This Gibbs, what's going on there? What's happening to Gibbs White?
Yeah, he's mugging him off.
I heard. I don't know. I must have read it wrong. I thought that they revisiting. He got picked. I don't know. I might be wrong.
What Gibbs what?
Yeah.
Did someone pull out and he got called up?
Yeah, that's.
Maybe that But he should have been in the.
But I'm saying from the offset though.
From the original,
I mean, Jordan Henderson.
Come on, man.
What was that all about?
He's chatting about old heads. You need some old heads to keep the young bucks straight.
You got Paul Merson and Michael Dawson going actually on Saturday. On the Saturday debate show on Gillette Sports. And basically, I think Paul Merson was saying that because, Tuchel's only got an 18-month contract, he needs to get ready-made players in there. Like people like Reece James, who's hardly played for Chelsea, he's in there. And now Maresca's playing him as a midfielder now. Yeah, he was a right back. So what's going to happen when he goes into the England side? So they were going backwards and forwards and saying like some of the players that he was actually quite flabbergasted by some of the players that Tuchel picked. But Paul Merson was trying to say that you need those ready-made players because of his short contract. He needs to hit the ground running. But they just, I don't know what your thoughts are on that quickly.
But Norm, just quickly, like standard of play. What standard is Henderson playing at?
I don't get it. The Henderson one makes no sense.
And I'm not an England fan like that. But I'm like,
where is he now? Is it Dutch? Is he in Holland or something?
Yeah, it's still
But he was trying to get out of that contract.
It's a waste of time, man. It's just a joke.
Yeah, man. He'll be my guy.
Guys, I've got to run off, man. I hope everyone's waiting for me. All right, listen, take it easy, man. Cool. Enjoy the rest of the show, guys.
Yeah, man. Easy, bro. Yeah.
So you have to look at that and say, is this the FA pressure? Is the FA helping him pick this squad? Because that could be it as well, where there's a couple of guys you're gonna have to pick here, and then when it comes to the youngsters, then it's up to you. But these 4 guys we need in the squad, and this may be just obligations, commercial obligations as well. So let's not forget that doesn't happen as well. We see it at our clubs. But yeah. For me, I was looking at it thinking, with all the football we've seen all season, that's what you came up with as your first England squad. Because this is his first one, isn't it? That is kind of
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Right. Yeah. So
I think they're playing Albania and the Latvia. I think those are the 2 games that are going to be having over this international break. All right then. Yeah. Let me. Okay. Hold on. Yes. Let me send it to you via thingy. 2 seconds, bro.
Yeah.
So if you just keep the old
show. Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah. So it's. If you look at the young talent now, there's so much young talent that you've just got to get them together and see how they gel as a New England squad. And so when I say rebuild, okay, you're still going to go with Harry. Harry's your main guy. Harry's still playing at a decent level in Germany. Fine. But everyone that's playing like in the Premier League and they're playing for a team that is currently sat in the top from 1st to 7th or 1st to 8th, you got to be looking at them players to integrate into the squad just to see in these 2 games. You can like just gamble. Like everyone knows what Harry Kane can do. Everyone knows what Jordan Pickford can do. You look at some of the young talent and say, right, throw a team out there even for 45 minutes to see how these guys gel together, coming from their various clubs. Some playing whatever 4-3-2-1, some playing 3-4-3, whatever. You look at that and say, this is your opportunity, mate, because how I see it, he hasn't got a 3-year contract. He's got 18 months. And in 18 months, they could say, not for me, and go after Eddie Howe. Yeah. So I don't know why he's not looking at it and saying, let me create the best scenario for myself as the England manager. That way, my contract gets extended after a year.
There's still decent players to pick from. Like if he's gone and picked like some guys that probably wouldn't have got into previous England squad, it's still Jack Grealish and all those guys that they're just sitting on the benches.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then you look at Jack. You have to wonder. I think Jack's got to get some help, innit?
Big up. Big up to Yassa. First time on my channel. Respect.
Yeah, first time.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Yassa?
Chelsea, man. Yeah. I might have to stack Chelsea. What's his name? Chelsea. I even forget what his name is. Ed's the Chelsea money is.
Money
already. I start paying Yatta. But big up to you for coming on, man. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, man. So he's saying Big D.
Yeah, he's just got to do the best scenario for himself because he hasn't got a 4-year England contract. It's 18 months. And in 18 months, if you work the magic, then he gets extended. You know what England are like? They don't like. Look how long they took to get rid of Gareth. I'm not saying Gareth was washed, but Gareth, it's like someone gets you to the gates of the promised land, but they can never get you to the promised land. So Tuchel should be looking at that saying, if I'm the foreign guy that gets this English team to the promised land, then I'm going to get a statue at Wembley. You know, once from 1966 till now. So he has to look at that and pick the team accordingly to say, I'm picking a team for my job, for my own ego, not really. But then, like I said, it could be that he's been told that certain man you got to pick.
Yeah, I was surprised. Yes, what was your thoughts on just quickly on that England?
I can't lie. I haven't seen the whole squad yet. I've heard some of the players that have actually been like selected and stuff. Yeah, I know that obviously Palmer got injured, so he's not on there anymore. So maybe that's where I think came from. But I think he's just doing the thing where he's trying to get the senior, well-known players that he knows about. So the Hendersons and that, just to have like the senior squad's members in there. So maybe because the way I know Tuchel, he's gonna play different systems. So he might try something first. If that's not working, he might be trying different things because obviously he's literally just come in, and then he does all this free in the back. He might change into.
I was about to ask you. He might want to
have, so he might want to have, players that can do certain jobs for him in the game. Look, for him, it's more just getting over the line. If he just comes in, does the job. Obviously, I think maybe he'll see what players he has and what players he's missing now, and then he might be selecting different kind of players or specific profiles of players in the next international break. I think that's really what I think he's trying to do. But yeah, he is missing some. Like I have seen some players.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at this Calvin comment, and
I haven't been picked anything. Ooh, he's been.
Oh yeah, I lost it there, mate. We lost it there. Yeah, so we lost it there for a second. You was talking and you froze.
Is it?
Yeah. I think you saying something and then you kind of like sped up.
My internet's fine, but no,
a bit like your transfer window.
What about your transfer window? Yeah, don't forget. But no, what I meant is he's just trying to. I think he's just trying to bring in the known players just in case that he can have that seniority in the team and understand the changing room and stuff like that. Because remember, it took Gareth Southgate ages to be, getting the whole environment right and all that, whatever he used to call it. But for Tuchel, I think he's first trying to just analyze the squad with the players in the changing room and stuff like that, see what he can get out of them in the pitch. And I think later on he will be probably changing some of the players, and probably Saka might come back. I don't know if Palmer's fit and all these other players that he hasn't selected or are injured might be coming back later on. I think for him it's just getting the results, kind of having that quick start like the other gentleman said earlier, just getting in first, just trying to get the wins and everything, and seeing then what he can do after. But before you go, sorry, but the Rashford thing, I think it's just because he knows who Rashford is. I think I think he might be one. He might want to see if he either's gonna bin him or keep him. So I think he's trying to see, is he ready and is he in the right mindset and stuff like that to be playing, or is it just a thing because he just went to another team? So I think it's more of a test for him. And Henderson's Henderson. I don't know what Henderson's gonna do.
Well, listen, I was shocked when I saw it. I'm not gonna lie, man, because he went to. Was it Al Nassr? I'm not even too sure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he went to Saudi, then I don't think his family liked it, so we had to just get him out of there.
Now he's getting bullied in the what's it called, the press conferences by the Dutch journalists.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was wild, wasn't it? Yeah.
They don't play,
Man was trying to.
I want to see Arteta in there once. They won't leave him because in Holland, they have this TV program called NOS, which is basically like BBC. So they'll have, I don't know if you've seen the clips of them before, but you have like ex-pros sitting on the table chatting. They cook the Dutch players.
I have seen, I've heard and I know because I've got a friend that lives out in Holland as well. So I know they don't pull any punches.
They don't play, I remember they were talking about Van Dijk like last year, whatever. He was like,
listen,
it up and all that.
Well, you're right, because Van Dijk with Kofi, he's your player, man. He plays for Liverpool, but the Dutch, they don't rate him in that way, like how the Liverpool man rate him. You understand? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
it's so different, isn't it? Like international football is so different compared to when
but then also the squad we had and the managers we had in the past. I think what's that biggest failure that we had here? Frank de Boer, is that his name?
Yeah, you remember?
He dropped to the Euros, He was
playing
players in like left wing back. He was playing Memphis left wing back.
Madness.
I think he came over here. Wasn't he? Did he manage Crystal Palace for about?
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Some mad.
It was like 8 games, wasn't it? Or 8 or 9 games.
Yeah, he was useless. Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely useless, bro. But it is what it is. But so, you said you wanted to tackle this thing about.
Because he's saying, Galvin's saying, has their ship sailed? as in your Hendersons and your Rashfords. But it's like anything. If you move in like in any part of your life, you make a move. That's a big move in a situation. Then, especially in sports, it's supposed to ignite you. So the Rashford thing, he's just showing up for work. Is he really pulling down trees? No, not really. And he's not always started, because if you look at Jacob Ramsey and that man's been starting ahead of Rashford at Villa. Mm-hmm. So I look at that and say, for me, he's doing us a favour because we're trying to sell him. You know what I mean? So England call up always looks good on the resume for a player that doesn't want to be at his parent club and looking for a move. Hence why he took I think he waited it out and just took the loan move just to get out of Old Trafford. Because listen, you see this badge, right? This badge ain't for everybody. This badge is freaking heavy, brethren. You know what I mean? This weighs heavy on a man's on a man's chest. And I think the pressure of that, plus the impatient, like the fan base is toxic. So I've been to Old Trafford and I've seen the toxicness, and you're like, yo, these are still our players. We don't have to do them like that, even when it's thinking of joint them. But there's a section of the fan base that go in, and I think that's all. Between that and his outside noise, it's better he go play football elsewhere. So this benefits Man United. This England call up. Does it benefit England? I'm not so sure. We'll see. Time will tell.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're on the Man United theme and everything. And listen, bro. I think last week I kind of addressed something regarding your club going to have probably the biggest circus tent in the world.
Everybody on that tip there, you know.
Well,
these guys are state to the architect, you know.
But you know what it is? It is kind of already on the jeopardy because of Manchester Airport.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, there's a thing that those three steeples can't be over 90 meters or something like that.
Basically, everything above 8 meters, if you're going to build something, you need to speak to Manchester Airport or something.
That's right. Yeah,
they decided they want to build something that goes into the.
Is that what?
Because I think they're like close to 200 or whatever, and they're saying maximum is going to be 90. So I think that design will change slightly anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm guessing the whole tent will light up and stuff like that, just like the Wembley thing and that. And I think when they build these kind of stadiums, it's not just about how it looks from down the road and that. It's like if you go to like a Wembley, you recognize it from far away.
You recognize it, so it's going to be
kind of
because I think when I land in Heathrow, the pilot will tell you that's Stamford Bridge, that's that, and you can see it.
Yeah,
I think it's similar to that. And obviously, when you have that kind of like a special design or like a unique design, people will be like able to spot it from like. They don't even need to know which team plays there anymore. It's just that stadium. The Snapdragon Stadium or the Ineos. I don't know what they're gonna call it yet.
But if you look at the media, like the media have been trashing it pretty much. You know what I mean? So we'll see if he gets we'll see whether the architects listen to the outside noise and adjust the look of it. Because for me, I would like to have a retracting roof stadium. That way it becomes multi-purpose like Tottenham did.
But okay, before we can
go to more money,
before we can go to the retracting roof and all of that, right? Yeah. Let's see if this is really realistic. Because I mean,
he's trolling, you know.
He's
laughing. He's trolling, bro.
No, I'm not trolling, bro. I'm just putting things to Big D because last week, I think it was last week, we talked about the stadium and everybody was getting hyped up about it and all of that. Lord Norman is going to go up there and sort it. Not me, the other Lord Norman. I wish I had his money, but it's not how it goes. You know what I mean? But obviously, you Paul Merson came out and said, what your plans were. It's Paul though, and he said it was pathetic. Yeah. He said it was pathetic, and you said, well, what you said? Why would I be listening to that man? Right? I've got no interest in this guy. You know what I mean? The man doesn't know nothing. You understand? Blah blah blah, and all of that. It's funny enough. It's ironic enough though. After you cussing him, you then send something on the WhatsApp or on our WhatsApp group, So I'm gonna play this and just
Simon, yeah.
I'm gonna because obviously you was dissing Paul Merson and whatever and saying whatnot. So I'm gonna play what I think may be a voice of reason. It may not be a voice of reason. So let's play it again, the audio.
commercial benefits in there, and I do think it needs to be called for what it is. I don't want to be lectured by Jim Ratcliffe and his Chelsea season ticket holding perspective about how much he loves Manchester United and what he's doing for the region, right? Because he was trying to buy Chelsea, he was trying to buy Barcelona. You know, with respect to Jim, I have a lot of admiration for him, but he is a relatively slightly arrogant billionaire, like most billionaires have to be, because they think their knowledge is possible. And we're seeing in the media that Jim struggles with aspects of the media. The reasons why, with due respect to how important we are or how important we're not, the reasons why we're not included in conversations to interview Jim Ratcliffe is, I'll give you an example in a break. If you're creating a Ponzi scheme, you don't ask the fraud squad to interview you, do you? So you're not going to have people like me, you and me, rocking to ask Jim Ratcliffe some real meaningful questions about why are you telling everyone you're going to run out of bleeding money in November when you spent 150 million on players in August? That doesn't make a lot of sense, Jim. Why are you talking about players that are being paid on the drip when everybody plays players on the drip? So you're not paying for the same players twice. You're doing what every football club in the world does. So a lot of what Jim has said is, in my view, as I've written about it, the elephant in the room. He doesn't talk about the problem. We lost a lot of money at Man United. The reasons why you lost a lot of money is because the debt servicing that the Glazers have laid on the football club is costing the football club £50 million a year. Take that out of the equation, you haven't got a problem. If you've got debt already, and you can't afford to pay the bills, and Man United are in a terrible situation where you've got no bleeding money, how are you going to bankroll a stadium which is inevitably going to take on more debt at the same time as a debt that you've already got, which you're not talking about, and you want to tap dance around that because you've got some Faustian pact with the Glazers that you obviously can't, pee on their parade because you're in bed with them. So here we are in a situation where we've got this ridiculous scenario of Man United allowing people to believe they haven't got any money so they can manage expectations and suppress people's ambition and justify some of the decisions that they're making.
You're either taken in by it or you're not.
So Big D.
Well, no. Well, this is the thing. Does that not sound personal? If you listen to what he's saying there, there's definitely something going on with him and Sir Jim, because he's being quite personal. He basically is saying he's on the Glazers payroll. Is this? Is that? Like talk the facts. Sir Jim never came out and said that he's going to personally bankroll this stadium. Because remember last week we spoke about this stadium only happens depending on who's in government. Now, if the Labour government decide that they want to do this Old Trafford regeneration, the properties and all this, the 92,000 jobs eventually, all this kind of stuff in terms of building it and creating the area, the homes, the shopping centre, the mall, all that stuff. Jim is not looking to bankroll that. This is what happens. Billionaires don't spend their own money. Hence why we're in the mess we are now. Because the Glazers say, we're not spending our own money, but we're gonna bankroll it, by Man United, and they were allowed to. The government didn't jump in and say, whoa, hold on. This is a very big asset for our country here. Why are you loading your US debt on one of our biggest assets in terms of sports assets within Man United? And all these things were allowed. So some of this feels personal. And yet factual, because remember we said didn't he want to buy Chelsea? Wasn't he a Chelsea season ticket holder? And then it was all, I'm Manchester born, I'm bringing Manchester. That's why I wanted to Sheikh from day one, And Nomsky will back me on this. I said, give me Sheikh, give me that old money. I don't care who catches me. Give me the old money. I'm good, because I knew this would turn into a circus. Hence the design of the stadium. If people are saying that's what they think it looks like, circus canopies, free circus pegs with the canopies,
and the clowns. Don't forget the clowns.
Well. The thing is, if you look at it now, if we're being honest, I think we've got rid of most of the clowns that were holding top seats at Old Trafford, and obviously they made a mistake with the Newcastle guy because he didn't last 3-4 months. Right. So, and to be fair to Jim, he had his hands up and said, "Yeah, we got that one wrong." He said it didn't fit. It's bigger than that, but that basically said when the boys' club came together for drinks, this guy didn't know how to handle his liquor. He might as well just said that, because that's why it sounded like that. He just didn't know how to hang with the man's them, so we had to just cut him loose, which we've seen over the years that happens. But in terms of Simon Jordan, some of it is fact, some of it sounds like they've had a fallout. And I think Simon's jealous of his money, unfortunately, because Simon ain't got it like that. That's why he lost Chelsea. If he had it like that, he would have kept Chelsea, right? So he ain't got it like that. So I think there's a little bit of personal in there. as well as some facts, because we know that.
Okay, so let's stick to let's separate the facts from the personal, yeah.
Right.
And the reality. Let's ask Kofi. Do you think Kofi? Don't be talking with your Liverpool head on now. Just be all right. Do you think that could happen? Do you think this stadium build can happen and the whole regeneration? Do you think it's plausible? Is it something that can be done in 5 years? And I'll go to Yasser on that as well.
Well, United got to get in the top 5 or top 4 to start with. So, I mean,
or win the Europa. Sorry, or win the Europa this season.
Yeah, but I mean, it's more than that. It's deeper than that. United got to get into Champions League.
If you get into Champions League while winning the Europa, straight away there's an influx of money that you're not going to get if we don't. If we're not in Europe this season, you might as well put them plans back another 8 years with the stadium. You've got to be playing top European football to say you're building a new stadium like that, 100,000 seater. Otherwise, you're clowning yourself. You're delusional. So that's where Simon's coming from. Like, how about you work on the team before you're chatting stadium?
Well, actually, I hear that. He said that, but so did Paul Merson say that. So
no,
I don't get why he was.
He was clowning. No, you have to remember Merson, right? He comes from a place.
Would you say he was clowning? He was saying But D, let me say this. He was saying, why are you going and spending all that money on a stadium when you can spend it on your? He's saying basically, spend it on the squad.
That's it.
No, it's twofold. Because if it was just a stadium, then I would agree. But it's not just a stadium. I'm just getting my notes up, Nom, so I can tell you exactly, rather than I misquote them. You know them ones? Right. Here we go. 17,000 new homes and apartments. The possibility of 92,000 jobs in the Northwest. An additional 7.3 billion per year to the UK economy. It's more than a stadium, bro. That's why Merson got to go boil his head, because he's coming from a Arsenal hate. That's where he's coming from. Now with Simon, at least Simon's coming with more facts. He's not just talking about the stadium, because you have to remember all the people we let loose, and now you're telling me there's going to be 92,000 job possibility after all the jobs we just cut. Now these are jobs working for Man United, but if you're looking at, and they're talking about what they said, it's going to add an additional 1.8 million visitors to that area per season or per year, plus those that decide to buy property there. I would look at a property. I like Manchester. I don't like the rain, but I do like Manchester, nice city. So I'd even think, is it worth getting an apartment up there, Sheen, a 2-bedroom that we can rent out as an investment, and then we sell it when we're retired in 5 to 8 years' time. So I look at those things and say it's bigger than just the stadium. Everyone will hate about the stadium because we're talking 100,000. That's coming with chess. But then you're looking at what you see on the pitch, and you're looking at what they're telling us about the finances and saying, okay, why a stadium now? Is it to mug off the fans?
It's absolutely. I mean, it's absolutely essential that you need to make Europe. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
right. So yes, sir. If they don't make Europe, right. If they don't make Europe, right. What do you think? Because I know in Jim's interview with Gary Neville, he was talking about that it's essential that, and I think we've heard it before, that it's important that we make Europe, because obviously that's going to generate money and that. So yes, so what are you saying on that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you need the extra income as well, and also being in Europe will help. But I think 100,000 seats, I don't think anyone's really like jealous of the 100,000 seat stadium in terms of it's United, and I think it's more, the rumors about the taxpayer money and that. My thing is, I don't want to be paying towards United Stadium. That's my thing, bro. I don't mind you building a stadium. Everyone got stadiums, and you're one of the biggest clubs in the country, or probably the biggest when it comes to that. Obviously, United, but bro, I'm not trying to pick on Sophie like stadium or shopping center thing that they're gonna build. Because, bro, you know how it's gonna be, and it's gonna be one of them like an entertainment building thing, like an arena. Well, basically, you guys, it's almost like an American thing, anyway. They almost tell you it's the home of Manchester United in terms of you play there, but we do all these other things in there as well. So obviously, it's there to generate that extra income and stuff like that, bro.
See, I'm quite pissed that Everton get a brand new stadium and we're just clutching and building part and part at Anfield. Look at the 50,000 seats stadium that Everton have built, and they're going to move into next season. Man.
Yeah, but this the only way you would have got the Qataris is if they change the badge, innit? They ain't coming in with that devil on that badge. You know, the Qataris would have done everything.
I did see something in our chat as well about some sponsorship.
Yeah, so they pulled out of a sponsorship. So Ineos, pulled out of a sponsorship with
Tottenham. Is it?
I thought it was the rugby as well. The rugby.
No, but there was something in the chat about. I think Jay was saying, "Is it legit? Something to do with some Arab sponsorship." In your chat.
Oh yes. There was something that came saying that that they would pay quite a lot of money for the stadium naming rights over 10 years. A bit like what Adidas do. Like we signed that 900 million pound, 900 million over 10 years with Adidas, but it's depending on us playing European football. So every year we don't qualify for Europe, Adidas take a cut of that money back. Right. So it wasn't a lump sum. Apparently it's a yearly thing. So these guys are saying, let us get the naming right for the stadium, like call it Qatari or whatever, the Manchester Qatari, whatever they want to call it. And every year we're going to drop you a light, whatever. Say like 80 million a year for the naming rights, which is a big deal because that allows you to get at least 3 to 4 decent signings in a window as you look to phase out players that you know are just not going to take you to the promised land. So there's all these things, and with the money, this is the whole government growth agenda. So they've met with government, because you have to remember there's a whole thing about lack of available housing within the country. Yeah. So they're saying you've got all that land up there. You have to remember they own the land, that wasteland next to Old Trafford. Man United own that land. That's where the stadium's going to go. So they can flatten Old Trafford rather than giving it to the youth of the ladies team and build a load of properties on the current Old Trafford grounds. You know what I mean? And I think they're even going to get the train line moved and all kind of madness. It's not just about the football and the stadium. It's bigger than that.
It's a whole
yeah, region. Yeah. But then like what Yazza was saying, like you don't want his tax money to go and build Old Trafford. Totally agree. That has to be separate money. That can't be UK tax money.
I think that whole idea of tax money going us paying for the stadium, because there was that talk, but that narrative is not true. The narrative,
no.
But I think that's where the narrative. That's where it's being kind of a bit muddled. That's where people's anger kind of or annoyance comes from. Whether it's like a bit of whether you can say it's true or not. But I think once you start hearing these things, some people get like a negative look on it.
But it's like anything, Yazza. Like you work hard. We get out of our beds to make other people rich. In most cases, unless you're self-employed trying to keep your own gig going, we go and work for companies, and then you see their profits. Their profits don't reflect your pay rise or your current salary. Happens all, in general. I think most of our guys that we talk to, they tell you the same thing. Yeah, man. I remember when my missus was pulling in like 10 million for her division. I said, babes, that don't reflect your wages. And your wages is nice, but you just made them 10 million this season in publishing. Come on.
Well, go on, man. Well, go on.
Like, drop me a nice 6-figure bonus. You know the ones? That's just the ones. Because they can afford it. But they're not necessarily going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think this what, you see it with us now. They raised the basic tickets to 66.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
it's going up in the summer, Norm. It's going up again in the summer. He said it in the interview. So you're like, bro, 66 is a lot already. Travel, parking, food. Basically, we're becoming like American sports. That's what we're doing. Right under our noses, they are turning this into American sports. Well, and because I live there, I know. I think I told you guys, I used to go to South Beach, watch the Miami Heat play when I lived in Florida. Between me and Sheen, $3.65 per ticket, $40 to park the car, $50 in fuel, and then you drop another $120.
You better make sure they win that game, man.
They have to win, Norm. That's what the Sheen. Christmas Day, I'm watching the Heat play. I said, yo, better win. This cost me a fortune, $1,000 for a basketball game. They better win. And what's that $1,000? That's ticket, food, petrol, parking, all of it. $1,000 Christmas Day to watch the Heat play.
But that's why the Americans feel like it's cheap here. They look at it like, yo, what's this? Well, I'll catch a flight and come and watch the game.
That's the thing.
Even that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That they think football here is cheap to watch them. Because of what they play to watch NFL.
2012, Birmingham City was still in the championship. Yeah, these times Crystal Palace and all the teams that are regulars now in the Prem, I've actually watched them play either I think FA Cup game or they lost against I think it was they drew or lost against Leicester and since then Leicester's won the league and that, you know what I mean? But when I went there, the ticket was like £3.
Wow. Imagine.
Wow. I was like a 16-year-old, so it was the younger ones, and I wasn't a kid, but it was still like I know it was a championship and that, but it's like now you don't know because now they got Tom Brady that was part of the club or is part of the
that's right,
consortium. So now that ticket is definitely not going to be not going to be anywhere near that. But it's just
definitely.
They just I think the American owners are looking at it when, especially the ones like Todd Bowley and that actually have clubs and teams over in America and looking at the price.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably football is changing. I mean, and it for me, I look at the way our clubs have been run, especially the American owners, mate, and we're just seeing now as customers now, you know, not as fans now, because they say if you give up your season ticket, there's another guy waiting to grab hold of that. You know what I mean. So as long as they got bums on seats, that's it for them. You know what I mean? And that's why this whole thing with Arsenal, which gets because we're coming from that era of like winning things and seeing our teams win things, go through things, even though
dominate,
more titles of that. But now it's just a kind of case of we just accept mediocrity now. You know, let's all turn up at Arsenal and just sit down and just have a jolly up. Yeah. Oh, don't matter. We'll play until the wheels come off. And this is the narrative that I'm hearing, and I'm definitely not happy with the way our club is going. And we drop merchandise. Yasser, we drop merchandise. We're the kings when it comes to dropping merchandise. You know what I mean? We're Champions League specialists. Yeah. When it comes to
14 Champions League, when it comes to the merch thing.
Yeah. But
I've seen merch drop one I couldn't even believe. They could drop merch with us.
Right. Yeah.
I've been saying because remember that NPC jacket, I've made a lot of jokes about the NPC jacket. Because it's based around that guy who was part of the photos or something, and he was wearing that jacket and he was in the crowd. Now, NPC means non-playable character in games. So they managed to, for some reason, get him because apparently he's a designer or something. They managed to collaborate together, make that jacket. Drop it just before the just before the transfer window. You know what I mean? And say, yo, this is your, we got a new merch drop, wherever. I told them, I said, nah, it stands for no players coming in January. That's what it stands for. It doesn't stand for. That's what I said. But
this is what it is. Yeah. Send them and say the ticket exchange. Oh no, this is on our side now. Also, 300 quid plus for £70. So you do that, and they put it on the exchange. It goes for 300 quid. Right. Do you know what I mean?
The demand is there.
That's the thing. But this is what I'm saying. That is pocket change. So in the NBA, if these guys get to what they call the conference finals to play to win that to go into the NBA finals, if you're going to basically the semi-finals, right? Courtside is $15K a ticket, and there's not a single empty seat courtside, Nomsky. I kid you not, bro. And I'm saying, yo, just paid $15,000 a pop to sit. Players.
Yeah, but D, when you watch those games, it's mostly celebrities holding
exactly.
that.
I know that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's like with the boxing. Yeah,
but
it's like with the boxing. Yeah, the front row seats. When they box out in Saudi and all wherever it is, they're gonna pay the money to be front row, and then you all got corporate boxes. So Chelsea will have their corporate box, Man U will have their corporate box. So them mans. You can get those corporate boxes, but you're gonna have to pay for the nose to get them.
But you remember what JP was saying, that he inquired to get onto the list at Old Trafford, and they told him I think he had to drop $3,000 to get onto the list, and there was no time scale of how long that list was. So you're just gonna keep my $3,000 indefinitely until somebody dies to free up a season ticket. Basically, that's what they were saying to him. I'm not paying that $3,000 just to. And they think that's reasonable.
By the time you'll get your season ticket, it's gonna be like $6,000 for a season ticket, and then you're gonna say you need another $3,000.
And the thing about it, that's what I'm trying to say, bro. And our team is going on with foolishness. 32 years we haven't won a Carabao Cup. Yeah, 21 years, no Premier League. And people telling me that our club, we're regressing, bruv. We are regressing like nobody's business. We're 12 points currently behind Liverpool. So Liverpool, I mean, Kofi, I don't know why you're so sad about missing out on that. Yes, it would have been nice to have a domestic, a domestic double.
No, I'm not even sad, Norms. I just wanted Liverpool to put up a better fight in the game. And it was like last minute they scored a goal. And then they started getting energized that they can get something out of the game. But
I say, Kofi, I looked at your team, man, and I mean, listen, Newcastle were on you from the offset, mate, and you did look leggy and playing
just fresh
extra 120 minutes, man. You know what I mean? It just took it out of you. You know what I mean? As I said, Mo Salah yet again didn't turn up in the final, and then you've got to look at your three main players, in terms of their contract situation, because I think it was after the PSG game. Now, how social media like to jump and things like that. My man was talking with the PSG top guy.
I saw the video, no. I saw the video.
Yeah, right. Then you got Mo Salah. Definitely Trent is going to Real Madrid. Let's not say that ain't going to happen. That's going to happen. Yeah, but I suppose the question is if you lose those three, it's going to be a rebuild for you because Robertson's going to go. So there's quite a few players that are going to go. Like your
Robertson's legs are gone,
isn't it? Even man like
it's going to be a rebuild. It's going to be a rebuild for you.
Even man like Diaz.
Yeah. I mean, I know you probably want him out.
Could be going to Barcelona.
Darwin Núñez, you know what I mean? He's the next man.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Those are they all at it on the ticket exchange? Tottenham, City, everything sorting. That's what they do, bro. Listen, my son, bro. Let me tell you something. He can get tickets, yeah. Man, when he told me the price of the ticket, I said, bro, don't even slap you up.
Yeah,
he's a big old man, you know what I mean? I was like, yo, where you going with that? When he told me what he paid for the ticket, I said, get out of here. I'm not going to go and waste my money, that kind of money, to go and watch that boring football.
Sideways and backwards. No.
Sideways and backwards, U-shaped football. Get out of here, man. That ain't happening.
Makes no sense.
You know what I mean?
But you have to remember, right? This has gone from a so-called working man sport to just
like a corporate sport.
There you go. Yeah, it's no longer. This guy works in the coal mine, goes home, jumps in the shower, goes and watch Newcastle play.
I've seen it. I used to work at Villa, innit? In the security, in the corporate boxes and that. So I've seen how much people spend for the corporate boxes. I remember them telling me Villa makes 40 million a year. I mean, a match a day. In a match day, yeah. And then some people tell you, because remember, rich people when they get angry, they start telling you how much they paid for stuff. Yeah,
that's right, exactly. Yeah,
because I was security, so I knew how it worked. So if they weren't able to get in for whatever reason or whatever is happening, they'll tell you, I've paid 34 grand for the year for the boxes.
Yeah,
you think, bro, 34 grand. Now some of them do business there. So technically, it's an investment for them to get someone for a meeting and all that, whatever. You know what I mean? They get in early, meeting, stuff like that. And then some of them they just love football, whatever. Or they're just kind of coming. But it's like, and then just before I left, because remember, I started working there just before Gerrard went there. Dean Smith was still the manager. Then Gerrard came.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, and then Usain Bolt was there. Because Leon Bailey invited him. I think it was that Brighton game. Yeah. And because Usain Bolt has this little UK thing when he was coming around, and you will start seeing him popping up on people's places. He came to the game, and then after that, it went downhill for Gerrard or whatever. Unai Emery came in, and then just before I left,
he's done such a fantastic job here, man.
They started telling us, well, we don't want people to dress like this, and we want people to dress like that, and then
really.
Yeah, because I mean, in corporate, the only problem in corporate is that you actually mix with opposition fans.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So you obviously can't wear the shit. You can't wear your United shirt and then someone else walking past you or whatever. Yeah. But what started happening is no trainers, no this, no that. You know what I mean? And rich people don't like to tell them you can't wear trainers. You need smart shoes, and so even up there, they are trying to like slightly control what happens, how much you pay for things. And So it's becoming the whole game of like the stadium thing is becoming way more like corporate, like we're saying, not just because we knew there was a separate thing, right? Like you had a separation between the match going, people that sit in the stadium, like the working class fan, and whoever wanted to spend all his money and sit all the way at the top in this room.
It's a huge disconnect.
It's becoming almost like it's all becoming one. You know what I mean? And you still have to sit outside. You know what I mean? There's not like a big difference though. You're not paying as much as far as because the tables on the restaurants like 350 or 400 quid. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, just to book a table, just to have that restaurant thing, and then you basically have a seat, but you might have to go back out for your seat. So it doesn't mean just because you have access to that restaurant doesn't mean you sit in the boxes. It just means you have access to that restaurant. So the prices in football stadiums are, they do kind of get out of hand. To be fair,
it's almost like what they've done because, like I had friends living in New York and New Jersey, and I've lived in Florida, and I just go up and check them. You go to somewhere, you go to say like a place that just plays live music. Norm, you're paying $200 for the table bridging before you order a single drink or food.
But that's what I said. Yeah.
$200 for the table.
What's that table made out of?
Right. Just to be in the room, literally, just to be in the room, Norm.
Bro.
And then they would add whatever the state tip is onto your bill without no question. The service could be poor, and they say, no, that's your bill, Bridget. And you're like, yo, this is crazy. So you couldn't say I'm just going out. You've got a budget for if I want to be comfortable at this venue, then I got to add the $200 table charge on top of before a drink or a bite to eat, and so that's coming to football. And like you have to say, shoes only, no trainers. You could shirt without a tie is cool. You wear a tie, and so and they're trying to. It's almost like working class. They're trying to push them out. If they could get away with not having fans in the stadium, in the terraces, and still make that money, they'll be like, yeah, man, it's all.
Oh, well, listen, the future is AI fans, yeah? It's going to be all AI fans, yeah?
You imagine them.
Everyone's going to be watching the games with VR sets and that.
Oh, bro. I mean, to be honest, the football, I mean, guys, you've got to agree with me. The football that we're seeing, though, in the Premier League in general, I mean, just to change the subject away from our separate teams, it's just so boring. And I kind of mentioned it last week. Capello, was having a go at Pep about destroying the state of English football and just football in general. Because listen, Pep does what he does. He does it well, but you've got the likes of Arteta trying to copy, even Maresca. You've got your manager Ruben.
It's playing out from the back. No, it's killed the game. Isn't
sticking to his principles and big up.
Ruben. Ruben, you know what I mean? He's from the north side club, you know what I mean? He's dangerous, you know. I've seen his backroom stuff, you know. Brother, I think he just bought his man them from the ends and he said, yo, we got a quick paycheck over in Manchester. If we get fired, we can get that 20 million or whatever it is.
And a bus case.
And not that, you have to go back home and walk into a decent job as well.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
I mean, they'll probably take him back. Yeah,
that brother talks a good game.
He's level. Foden is level on points with Benfica. You know, they were like ahead of everyone. He's left, and for me, it's just the way. It's not his way of playing. I think for me, the way I said it about United is when he came in and realized that obviously there's these managers that like to play this what I call the chess football, and you need to have like high level of. It's like algebra and all that rubbish. That's how it's not doing math. You're not doing math. You're doing algebra and stuff. Yeah, it's like
listen, man. You got to work it out. Then you
look at if you look at the average English player and their football IQ compared to players that play on the continent, it's quite night and day.
They're like Gallagher's on that. That's what
literally you have to hold their hands through every coaching aspect of the game.
I sat behind with Lee Gunner right after we did an emergency stream, and I sat behind with him. Bro. I was busting, I was tired enough, but he said, just watch a couple of these players, and these are like lower league players, man. Yeah. And I'm telling you, their technical ability compared to what you see in the Premier League, brother, It's night and day.
But people don't want technical ability. That's the problem. People want runners, bro. When they look at
football, exactly.
How many kilometers has he run?
Pay some power.
Pay some power.
Even if you have a good winger, even if you have a good winger in your team, and he does well, like he does all the basics well, and he does everything, he might be lacking a few things. No. We want a player like a Nico Williams or like a Garnacho, but with emphasis.
Yeah.
They have an idea of a winger that every winger has to be like the FIFA guy, innit? Where every time he cuts on his right, he can shoot and score top corner. Not every winger's like that. Some people are like, obviously you've seen it in your club with Xerxes. It's all some players are link-up players. So for me, Xerxes is more of like the Berbatov type, not in his not in his ability, but in terms of the way he plays. Yeah,
he's got great feet.
I explained that to United fans beginning of the season. Yeah, when he was getting all the stick and that.
Yeah.
No, he's just rubbish. I'm like, bro. So what I think happened with him is just he has the ability. You're not seeing that maybe the manager's not putting him in a way that suits him, or even the players around him at the time. He didn't have runners off him. So he was just getting the ball, going deep, and then he passed to Bruno. Bruno clears it out. All of a sudden, he's like 60 yards away from the box, but you want him to make his way to the box. So there's a lack of like football understanding for some people here, but at the same time, it's just, bro. I haven't seen my thing with Ruben is I just haven't seen him at least try to get the best out of the players in a way that suits all the players. So what I'm trying to say by that is when he came in, if he knew from the beginning he weren't getting no money in January, there's no point to do his whole thing that he was doing. He didn't have to really get rid of like an Anthony and that. I know that a lot of people don't like him, but if he could get something out of him till the summer, and then if he wants to get rid of him, he could have, just to make sure that. Because remember, when he came in, you were only 4 points off top 4.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes.
This is the thing. So then he's so adamant. I'm seeing him play Kobe in the 9. I've seen when he got strikers on the bench. Besides the one striker, which I'll excuse him for because I've never seen.
Don't talk about strikers, please. That's a.
Yeah. I don't rate as much. You know what I mean? But
we got our IT solution. We got our IT solution up front, man.
But even with that, I mean, we play bottom table Leicester, and this guy hadn't scored in 22 games. Scores a goal and slits his throat. I said, brother, he got no self-awareness. Man, just pick the ball up and run back to the halfway line.
Exactly.
And we go again.
Big D, I asked you. I think I asked it on the chat or someone. I must have asked someone. Did he do that? Did he do the old slip?
Yeah, he did the whole with his thumb. I said, bro, you ain't scored for 22 games.
Man, there's 22 games, £72 million striker.
And you played
the talking about this last week, I told you when 0016 twice. How, bro? You should just be focusing on finishing, bro. There's no point.
Bro.
If I was him, I wouldn't even celebrate. You know,
just clap the fans, score the goal, clap the fans, pick the ball up, and go back to the halfway line.
Go back, yeah.
Doing all this foolishness. I was cringing. I was like, this is cringe-worthy, man. Yeah. It's Leicester. Everyone's doing that to Leicester. It's not unique to us. Relax. I mean,
listen, even Moreno scored against Leicester, even though it took us to the 80th minute.
All right, man. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Look, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Look. As I say, the football is drab, right? I mean, you got a few teams like Nottingham Forest, Brighton, that kind of play that free-flowing football. You know, it doesn't look too system-based. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you look at Liverpool. I mean, for me, Kofi Slot or Mr. Slot, we like to say. I mean, he's coming in phase 1, taking over a world-class team, as all the top gooners want to say. But before the season before that, they were useless, yeah. But yet he's come in and coached these guys, and the thing is, he coaches like each game that he plays is in-game tactics, yeah. Arteta 4-3-3, 4-3-3, it doesn't change, and teams work you out. Listen, that's what I'm saying. When we go up against Real Madrid, yeah, I don't know what they got this thing, because listen, they're talking about Saka coming back. I would just say Saka just rest out for the rest of the season. I was watching a documentary with Michael Owen, and he was saying that when his hamstring went like that, yeah, and he got it all sorted out. He was playing with a hamstring that was half hanging off, right?
Right.
And he was not safe. He lost his balance and everything. Everything wasn't right, and then he had to end up retiring. I hope this doesn't happen to Saka. Yeah, he's 24. Yeah. This man
Saka's been abused.
He's running into the ground, and they want to bring him. They want to bring him back for the. Listen, just go and play. If we win, we win. If we, as some people say, it's a roll of the dice. That's what it is. It's a roll of the dice, you know. But at the end of the day, we're playing against an heritage club in Real Madrid. Yeah. You know, we need to go and get a decent lead at the Emirates. I can't see it happening. Look, let's just face it. Yeah, I know you got top gooners saying, "Oh, you know, they play with a lot of space, and we might be able to, exploit that." Listen,
plus they keep the ball as well, no?
Yeah, they keep the ball
very well. Yeah.
Listen, all Ancelotti says to them brothers, yeah, go out, do your business, yeah. Let me know when you're finished. Yeah,
Smoke my cigar.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Let me know when you're finished, and then we can move on. So that's what it's going to be.
And he doesn't overcoach them, no.
He doesn't.
Because it's like roles. It's like everyone understands their part in the team. So it's only when he sees somebody lagging or feeling leggy, he said, "Okay, yeah, I'm going to switch it out. I'll make a sub." But you don't see him constantly on the sideline barking at the players because they know what they're supposed to do.
Can you imagine Calafiori up against Rodrigo?
Right.
Oh, bro, you know what it is with Ancelotti? He'll sit there, even though when he reaches like a level of the game where you think he's in trouble, he still looks calm, but you can tell he's a bit rattled, But then all you see is his one eyebrow just slowly go up,
You know the one.
It's time, Once it reaches the top, bro, you just hear boom goal, and he just thinks,
it's the Don, it's the Don Mafia coming out.
That guy's an OG, man. He doesn't have to do much.
That's what I'm saying. He just gives the player the look, norm.
No, D, that's what I'm trying to say. Them man, when they see his eyebrow go up like that, they go,
they know what time it is.
We know what time it is.
He just never went up at Everton, innit? That's what it is.
It's like this, brother.
You know what I mean? But look, listen, we'll see what happens. Yeah, see how far we go. But bro, let's just at some point enjoy ourselves until the wheels fall off.
You know what's that, man? Yes, I'm calm with Arsenal defensively,
defensively we're good.
Yeah,
but then I think when you start going, the further you go forward, the less confidence you get. Like midfield, you think it depends who he plays and which rights you're gonna get, which obviously kind of depend on Partey, but you never know. He puts him at right back at some point.
I mean,
you don't know what idea comes up
in the 6. I prefer him in the 6, but as I said, the way Arteta is bought. Listen, I mean, this is how mixed up things are. He's gone and bought Havertz as an 8 to replace Granit Xhaka. Found out he actually can't play an 8, and then puts him back as a striker. He then goes in the summer, goes and buys Moreno, who is not a very good 8 or a very good 6, and then we get an injury and he plays as a number 9. Then after 3 seasons, he's thinking, hang on, we're in a bit of a conundrum here. Oh, I know, we'll go and play Bart Simpson. We're going to get Bart Simpson to go and play in the 8 or the 10. I'm talking about Zinchenko. Zinchenko, This guy is winging it. Arteta is winging his way through the season.
For me, it was
we have regressed as a club. And nobody can tell me that we've progressed this season because we have not challenged this season. We've not challenged. And forget, I don't want to hear excuses about red cards. I don't want to hear excuses about injuries and all of that. Every club gets injuries. I remember last season, Newcastle had injuries. They had injuries this season. I think at the moment, this season, I think we're the 4th or 5th highest. I think we're behind Newcastle. So let's not talk about injuries, man.
But norms. For a guy who's just been in his first job, he's actually done it.
Who are you talking about? What, Arteta? Yeah. Don't troll me, please, Kofi, please.
No. I think he means like
you need to have the same standards that you've got for your club. You need the same standards for our club. Because I asked you, I think I asked you on the stream. So I'm going to ask you live and direct again. Would you swap Arteta for Slot?
No, but Slot's been in managerial career for a couple of seasons or so. Done final.
Not that much.
In terms of top flight, he came the same, but he's working at top flight the same length of time as Arteta was when he was coaching with Pep. But he's coached at AZ Alkmaar, won a cup with them, and also with Feyenoord, he's won a domestic cup and he's won the league with that. So in terms of just that alone, you know, his credentials is a lot better than Arteta. I keep saying we are not a potty training club. Right? We're not a potty training club.
There's too much money in football now for that.
Missing the target. So you're gonna make.
There's too much money in football for that.
Sorry, D. If you had said that Arteta was to go maybe abroad for a couple of years to manage a lower level club, build up his
should have done in the first place,
pedigree, and then come Premiership.
Exactly.
Then you can say and probably give a little bit of credit for him doing what he's doing.
If anybody wants to hear this, the chat, you, Kofi, and you've said it before, Ed has said it, Jay has said it, I think even D has said it, you know, as some people said, he's taken us from the doldrums. That's what you want to call it. Do you know what I mean? That's what you want to call it. What I would say is that he's improved us. I'm not going to say he's improved us, but the problem with Arteta, he just can't get us over the line. He just can't get us over the line. 3 seasons now.
That's what I said, Norman, about
second place. He can't get us over the line.
That's what I said, Norman, about the promised land. Someone can get you to the gate. Can they get you to step into the promised land? No.
Exactly. It's like the bride turning up at the church.
You remember that one from start of the season, though?
Right. Listen. So look, it is what it is, man.
It's not you, it's me. And they run. They just run.
He will win it next season. Next season, he'll win the Premier League.
No, that's what we keep hearing. Go again, FC. That's what we keep hearing. Now we've got this Sperta guy in. The cheese wire mafia man is coming in, and things are going to roll his way. Yeah, Arteta needs to sit down and he needs to listen. Simple things.
You reckon?
For your sake, Norm. For your sake, I hope that having someone to rein him in and make the right purchases.
Well, Yasser's shaking his head. Shaking his head.
You forgot Arteta is best mates with Josh Kroenke. You know what I mean? He'll just bypass that Sperta guy and just go to Josh.
But then this is the problem. But this is the problem. This is the problem because this will tell us that the problem is Arteta. And then, you know, these Italian man, you see what Conte did in his clubs that he's been at? I ain't having this, man. I'm out. I'm dusting. Same with Chelsea. He ain't working, bro. I'm gone. Give me the money. You know what I mean?
That's what you expect. It's all about the money. Yeah. But you know the issue as well. My problem with Arsenal is that when they prepare for everything to go their way. So if everything goes well, then we will win the league. Does that make sense? So if Liverpool drops points or United fall off and Man City, if Pep goes, you're supposed to prepare for the worst. And then if that doesn't happen, it's a bonus. Do you get what I'm saying? So he's like, you know what, we can get.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, when we challenged that year, 22-23 season, nobody expected us to challenge. Yeah,
I remember.
And we then bottled it after eight, being 8 points clear. Now we forward 3 years on or whatever, right? We come into the season. What Arteta said at the end of last season, second place is not good enough. He said it. He spoke to the whole 60,000 plus stadium, and everybody sat on that. I sat on that and said, "Okay, then you're gonna go and do something in the summer." I sound like a scratch record. I want to keep saying it. You were supposed to go and get a striker in the summer, and you didn't. You went and got Calafiori, and you got Moreno. That ain't doing it for me, people. That ain't doing it for me. Now you got Moreno playing up as a false nine. The man won't even try a Deje, who's not even an academy player. The man is 22 years old, man. He's just sitting on the bench. All he uses him for is, he helps out in training. Yeah. The guy is, listen, you're 7-1 up against PSV. You come back to the Emirates. At least give a little run out. No. He prefer to bring on a defender.
Yeah. No, you know who I know? You know the Anus guy that they keep talking about? Do you know about him? Anus, the kid that plays for Arsenal. Is he 70? He played with Obi Martin and all those players that went to United.
Right.
Remember they always mention him. There's a guy called Anus. He's a striker.
I
know his brother, innit? So I know that he plays. I used to hear about Obi when he was young and all. Man, Arteta just picks him. He's okay, and he's good. But you know what it is? Arteta just picks him and puts him on the bench. He lets him see the thing, and we've never seen him. I thought maybe at some point when you ain't got a striker or the season's over, you might see like the Obi Martin, and that's why they all leave it, innit? Because they feel like unless everyone drops dead on the pitch, we're not gonna play.
That's the only time you're going to see.
Yeah, there's no progression there.
Look what Everton's doing at Man United. Yeah. Paid a £1 million, whatever it was, compensation. The man is balling out. I mean, obviously he's got an injury now. He went off.
I don't even know how bad that is. You know what I mean?
I think it's an ankle injury. I think they said he had a boot on, but when he came out the stadium, he wasn't walking with crutches. So
even the other guy that came to us, what's the guy that's the number 7? Is it Ipswich? That we were sold to Ipswich. Oh, bro, I don't even know his name because he barely played for me. He played.
He went to Chelsea and then Chelsea sold him to Ipswich.
No, so we sent him on loan for the season. Then he came back. Then we said, well, you've had him on loan and you're in the Prem. Do you still want him? Yes, cool. Sold him to them. That's how it happened.
Right. I think he sold him for about something. Was it 20 odd mil?
20 million or something. Yeah, we got him for free. So it's like, with them, it's just like, even you know,
business as it. You know, Chelsea do great business with the youngsters. Like the way they can sell that has really featured is unbelievable. It's like, how are you getting this? I mean, Ez always brags about it. That's why we call him Money Ez, because the way they can move the young players. You say this guy might have had two, a couple of cup appearances and 25 mil. You're like, how? It's mad. But fair play to him, you know what I mean? Fair play to Chelsea for that.
You know, just sort of quickly, just talk before we end the show, because I've got to go on another stream. I mean, just talking about the whole fact that, you know, Chelsea have spent that kind of money on a lot of youngsters, and it doesn't seem to have paid off well, because, you know, for a club that spends that kind of money, your excuse might be not necessarily you, yes, but you know, you've got youngsters, and I think you need to get more, you know, ready-made players, as it were, because you're getting a lot of these, you know, youngsters that are coming in that have potential. You know what I mean? Under Abramovich, you know what I mean? It was a different kettle of fish, but I mean, under this new project now, you're buying a lot of youngsters, and you're looking to flip some of them to make money, which you're doing. That model is working. It's working for you, but it's not necessarily working for you on the pitch. You get me?
Alex, so what you're trying to say is we've seen it recently in PSG. That's kind of what you're always trying to do, but I don't really know what's going on in terms of like the planning, and this is why we're kind of looking a bit sideways at the directors. But if you look at that team, they have the under 23, under 25 model, whatever you want to call it, but they have a Marquinhos there. You know what I mean? They have some experience, like a Donnarumma, who might not be as old but has the footballing experience. You know what I mean? So they have that right balance, and they have the players in there, right? But
they got some good players in there. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm glad we played them when we did.
But that's what I'm saying.
Look at what they did to Kofi Slot's team, bro.
Man. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This is why, you know, this physicality thing in midfield doesn't mean anything, bro. Like, football ability will always beat anyone. Like, look at them; they're not even 5'6" in midfield. If Vitinha is small, everyone else is small. Just Fabian Ruiz that's tall. But at the same time, going back to Chelsea, and I think we did have to pay for not getting. You know, sometimes I'm not gonna call it a process, but you know, when you build the whole thing, so you get to a spot where you say, okay, cool, we need this, we need that, we need that. So we could have went with this whole young players all the way to like the summer, but then when we reached the summer is when we needed, okay, cool, we need an experienced goalkeeper, or we need an experienced striker. That's kind of where you kind of look at the next page now. It's not the same thing. You have to look at other things at the moment. And they didn't buy a striker, innit? So they didn't want to pay the wages for Osimhen. And to be fair, I don't think he's worth it.
You got a wage structure.
I don't know, they pay $350 a week. I don't necessarily rate him highly, but if I need a striker, I need a striker.
He scored 20 goals. He scored. I know the Galatasaray.
Your wage bill is crazy, bro. You're paying like you're paying Havertz like 260 or 270, and
290.
Yeah, but our wage bill, like the way our bill wage, because remember they came in, changed the whole wage bill. Everyone's on that. Okay, cool. Everyone's on an 8-9 year contract, whatever you want to call it, but they're all on a base wage, and it increases based on performances, not just individually, but also as a club, as a team. So if we get into the Champions League, they get like a bonus. If that's how the thing works, to make sure that they keep performing to get more money, but at the same time, the club's not losing their assets like you see with Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? No one wants to sign that contract there, and they have to sell him. Well, they have to get rid of him in terms of they're going to go either way, and they're not going to get any money for them. Do you know what I mean? They found that loophole not just to protect them and the asset, but to also have a way where we still it kind of, I think they've done it like in the American thing, but it's fine because if my player can stay and if no one wants to get into next to Palmer because he's on 9-year contract, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? Unless you want to pay the 150 or whatever they might come up with.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
you're gonna spend the game,
before I end it, you know, because this whole billion thing, yeah. If you look at our squad, I think we employ something like 40 something players, but most of them are on loan and that. So even those 2 players that we got, Quenda supposed to be the wonder kid of Portugal or something. Do you know what I mean? So, but he's like 17, but he already played on the Amorim and whatever in Sporting. But the thing is,
Manu was linked with him, innit? I mean, I think that was the plan for you to get him, Quenda. But now Chelsea have nicked him in there, Big D, and I think what maybe broke the deal was that they said, right, he's had the medical and all that, but you go back to Sporting and play another year there on loan, and that was sort of bro. I think with you guys, I think you said you couldn't do that or something when I was talking to you last.
I just think the way they were trying to broker the deal, that just wasn't going to work. I just think because of how the current squad is, you know what I mean, and the, he doesn't want to be playing Harry Maguire on a regular now because Harry has us sitting too deep. You know what I mean? You know, and so they're looking at options where they need to start fixing things. If you think the last couple of weeks, okay, we ain't played anyone big apart from you guys, Norm, but in general, the football's been a lot better. And I think because he's got less players to pick from because they're all injured. You know what I mean? So he's kind of going with the same players now that are kind of settling in and figuring it out a little bit. So, and as you know, he's a stubborn guy. He's a very stubborn manager, like most of them are. But I think in the transfer market, we can't afford to miss. We don't have the money to miss.
Yeah,
so anything we do, it's got to be right. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going backwards in terms of, I mean, even Leicester, we could have beat Leicester 6-0 and got us back into the plus. And it's just like, we just took our foot off their necks. You're like, what are we doing? We started the game with -6 goals. And it's like, it's Leicester, man. Just pepper these mans. No sympathy. Get back into the
scoring goals is the problem, though, isn't it? And that's been like that for a couple of seasons.
And that's why I said to you that when the man is slit his throat after the man's literally ghosted us for a whole season, and he's on good money as well. He asked for that number 9 shirt. And I told you about the badge earlier. The badge is heavy, and you're gonna put that number on your back when the badge at the front is already heavy for you. Nah, man, keep your high number until. That's funny. Just put your how you doing? Just put your high, keep your high number, and take the pressure off yourself. But apparently he asked for the number 9 shirt. So in his mind, he thinks it's him.
Man, like, oh, nice.
He wasn't ready. Yeah, you weren't ready for the number 9 shirt, bro. Relax.
But he ain't him. He ain't him.
Nah, he's not. No, he's
bro,
not.
He's the worst. I think he's the worst. To be fair, he might be the worst striker I've ever seen. He's not even nowhere near. This is the thing. Like, I've seen strikers that might not be able to finish on that, but they have something else in their game. He has.
You know what? Yes, sir. From the very offset, when he came to United, Big D has always called for him to have a main striker in front of him so he could learn.
Yeah, so he can learn from him.
Yeah. He's always called from the very offset. Now I don't know how long he's been at. How long has he been at the club now?
So this seasons? Is like what? This is third season, isn't it? Second season. No. Yeah, I think that's his third season.
Sure, it's his third season.
Yeah, because he came. Yeah, he came in under Eric. Yeah, did he come in under?
No, he came in under Eric. Yeah.
Eric, it's Eric, wasn't it?
Remember the whole SCG thing that they talk about.
Right. Yeah. So for me, because this is what it was, right? When Xerxes came in, there was a rumor that Xerxes was going to get the number 9, and apparently he went and asked for it. So you just heap more after a poor season. You want to heap more pressure on yourself by asking for the number 9 shirt. And I'm like, who's advising this kid? But then he's saying, well, I'm the striker. I'm who United lay their hat on. When in truth, and Norm will tell you this, Yazza, I said 2 seasons ago, go get me Ivan Toney. Norm will tell you that. Go get me Ivan Toney.
But even before that, you was talking about Harry Kane. I mean, Harry Kane was, you know what I mean?
Paid 100 million for Harry.
We were linked to Tony before he went to Saudi, yeah. And I was saying, I want him, and then I want Jackson to learn from him, even though Jackson.
My God. He's asking me Rasmus or Sanogo. Jeez.
Listen, I might still pick Sanogo, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, I might still pick Sanogo.
I'm going for. I don't know what.
But that's what I mean. The quality of striikers out there, nowadays.
In general,
yeah.
I mean, it's not. Yeah,
it's not a big pool, is it? Unfortunately, because if you think about it, Norm, we're all after the same strikers, you know. Good careers,
strikers though. This is the thing. Like, even if you look at it now, we had in Feyenoord, we had what's his name again? Santiago Jimenez.
Yeah.
For fun, and then what happened? I think that Conceição went into Milan. Looked at Morata, told him, "Listen, we don't want you." He went to Galatasaray, and they went and snapped him up. Milan went and got him from Feyenoord. This is the thing. So there are strikers. I think.
Yeah, I mean, Jimenez. We was looking at Jimenez. We was looking at Jimenez, and I think at the time when we was looking at him, I think he was valued at about 20-something million. You know what I mean? And he was scoring goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not. We've been told we're linked with Sesko, and for me, I don't want another project. We need somebody that's going to.
He's a quick Havertz, you know. He's a fast.
That's all he is. That's all he is. It's just he's a quick Havertz.
But you know, there's no. The problem with Arsenal is if you get a striker, this is why I don't think you can get. I don't think you can get a top striker in it, and I'll explain to you why. If you get a top striker, either he's going to ask for more money than Havertz, or he might not come because they're going to tell him to be second fiddle to Havertz. Yeah. Because remember, that's what he done to Sesko. That's in the summer, and he was like, "Nah, I'd rather stay."
That's why he want to stay. Yeah.
That's what I said.
He's younger, really, Norm. Sesko's younger.
Yes, 21.
21. Wow. But even that, then, Norm, 21-year-old coming to
21, 22, something like that.
A lot of pressure in it to be the guy.
Yeah. But that's what. No, but you think with Arteta, I don't think Arteta likes playing with an out-and-out striker. He likes to spread the goals around. I think that's what it is. I mean, look, the season when we spreading the goals, because Pep was doing the same thing.
No. But this is the thing, No. This is the thing. I said this to you before, but I don't know if you remember. But with Pep, remember, Pep decided to get a striker later on.
Yeah,
and you know, Arteta wasn't there for that. He missed that last year of uni. So he didn't take all the notes.
Yeah.
He can't get a striker later on. He's already known about the
fourth. Why didn't turn up to the lectures? Why didn't turn up to the lectures, bro?
He hasn't seen that side of the book yet. You know what I mean?
Last year in uni, I love that. I missed the last year.
I like that one, yes, man. I like that one, bro.
He left
that's what it is. He's trying to copy Pep, and he's just a four-man spec. Do you know what I mean? He just ain't.
And it's always years behind. Inverted thing was years later. Pep changed it. Then he had someone else invert, and then he keeps doing weird things, isn't it? So it's like,
yeah. So, you know, listen, bro, let's see what Mr. Big Bert, the cheese wire, I call him Mr. Cheese Wire. You know,
you want to see what he comes up with, no?
Yeah, man, because he's going to call him into that room and say, yo, sit down over the sit in that chair for me.
He's going to ask him for the checkbooks, the keys to the financial office, everything. Hand it all over, bro. It's mine.
You might conquer him, innit? You never know.
He's going to say to him, put your hands on the table. Spread your hands, spread your fingers. Yeah, we're gonna.
What are you telling me, Norms? He's gonna conquer him. Is that what you're telling?
Now Norms gonna run the Captain Phillips on him. He's gonna say, "Look at me. I'm the captain now." Taking over that shit, bro. He's taking over that shit, mate.
Well, listen,
he's gonna humble him.
I think with Berta, just sort of finishing on the Berta situation, and I want to really wrap up, so I'm late for this show. But with the Berta situation, we've been coming in. We all know he's got an eye for talent, and he's worked, 20 plus years as a sporting, a technical director, combination of that. Worked at Atletico for 12 years. You saw the quality of players that he's brought in, quality of players that he's sold, and that. So you're hoping, we're hanging on to that he will do something like that. And I put a question in Dan Potts. He had a stream earlier on, and I put a question in there regarding if Big Berta was to come in. For the loan players that we've got and the fringe players that we've got, would we make, decent money in terms of like selling? Because I think we need to sell. And yes, we suppose you got this 300 million war chest or whatever, but I think we would, as I said, we'll need to settle to make things really work and worthwhile in terms of going out there and purchasing those decent players. So, you know, we've got a few people out on loan. As I said, the fringe players, the ones that are you know, come to the end of their contract, like Jorginho, like Partey, Tierney, they're all going to go on a free. So those wage will be off and all of that. So listen, we're waiting. We're going to have to wait with bated breath for the summer.
Got a rebuild,
and it's going to be. Say that again, mate.
Still looks like a rebuild, you know.
It does. It does. After nearly 6 years, 800 million spent, and we're on another rebuild.
Because it almost like you know, when you're building, and you just keep going down, and you're building again.
Yeah, but he was asked a question. Yes, sir, he was asked a question. What phase are you in? He said 4.5.
I can't even believe he said that, Norm.
Well, he
That's
did.
just shocking, isn't it?
He did. He did.
He needs to get out of jail. He's mugging fans off now, isn't he?
He did, bro. He did. But it is what it is. But look, people, I'm gonna finish on here with the Fantasy League. Dave, if you just want to quickly run through that, and then I'm gonna quickly share the Premier League prediction league table, and then we will be out. But before you do that, Rashid is probably live at the moment. Rashid Revolution TV. Please go over there. Go over there and say Normski TV raid. Not yet, because we haven't finished. We still haven't finished the stream. But when you do, Normski TV raid over today. Yeah, you know the channel. Just go over there. I don't have to put it in the link. Maybe
I'll put it in the chat.
Yes, I'll put it in there, man. Put it in there for me, brother. You're the technical man. You know what I mean? You're the technical man. But Big D, just gonna quickly just read our Wagwan with the
man. Yeah. So as you know, we are ignoring Harley Ryder because that's the one that Jay said is on a fraud thing. So I want to big up Jay Johnson as our top scorer for this game week with a solid 72 points.
He was well pleased.
Big up yourself, Malcolm X.
Pleased, man.
Next levels, mate. Next levels.
Just to let you know, Malcolm X is my wife. Yeah, so bro, pause. Yeah.
She's doing good. She's doing very good.
She's all woman. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Yeah. Simon Jones with a solid 69. So he leapfrogged me this week, which is all good, man. You know what I mean? I actually don't mind not being at the summit. I just like to stay close. You know what I mean? So I'm close. Wow. So what else we got big hitting? We got Mark Connolly with a solid 57. Who else is climbing up there? Everyone else has said the same. Sean Connolly's climbed. Obviously Malcolm X has climbed, and yeah. So our next game week is not until first week of April, right, Noms?
Yeah. Game week 30.
Game week 30. So this is the running now.
Yeah,
this is the running now. Yeah.
Just to say, I'm going to share the next one, which is the prediction league table. So people, here we go. Let's just share that now. Okay, so as you can see, Kofi, you got me happy, man. Look, you're there on 30 points, 7 points clear of me. And
Kofi with them blues.
Points. All them blues, man. Kofi,
yeah, man.
Listen, you got some insider information on what's going on here.
You know them ones.
AI.
You know, you see this brother.
But listen, Kofi's on 30 points. Obviously, he predicted the outcome, but not the exact score. He predicted the outcome.
I'm coming for Ez, no. I'm coming for Ez.
At least my club's still in the top 4. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, like Ez is still holding me off there. That's all right though. Yeah, that's good.
He got our December fun around on form. You know what I mean? Four wrong results. Is that what it is? The 4 reds.
Yeah.
The 4 reds are yeah.
That reminds me of our form in December.
Yeah, and we actually said that to him, Yasser. We actually said like your form is mimicking Chelsea right now. But it's been hard to predict because the teams that you think will do well at home have been losing at home. So it's very hard to predict. Sometimes you say go with the home team because they're at home and then they lose. You're like, wow.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, JP has been sitting in single figures for game week 29, you know.
Yeah,
right?
And he just
I've just noticed.
He hasn't changed it to 29, has he? He's at 28 still.
My son is a drop-off merchant. Is it because hold on a minute? No, hold on.
Has he updated it, Norm?
No, you know what? Hold on a second. So hold on a second. So Kofi, why is Kofi still on game week 28?
Yeah, same as me. I'm on 28 as well.
I'm on 28.
Yeah, we should be all set. Only yes is on 29. Everyone else is on 28. So it should be 29, shouldn't it?
All of these should be game week 29 because
we're
all on game week 29, isn't it?
Because it's only Chile that was behind, and that game got played. Remember the Liverpool derby.
What I'm basically saying, have we all predicted game week 29?
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Yeah, what's my son doing, man? What's wrong with the brother?
But for some reason,
if he was an accountant, he'll get in trouble, blood.
If he's an accountant.
If he was an accountant, he'll get you in trouble with the HMRC. That's cooking the books.
So basically, so the next slot, because the thing is,
it's gonna be game week 30, isn't it?
My question is, right? So hold on a minute. Let's just get this right though.
So you wondering whether he added the points, Norm?
Huh?
You're thinking that he hasn't added the points? Oh, just not changed the points.
Okay. What I'm going to say, if you go back in our WhatsApp group, we all put in for game week 29, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. He just forgot to change it.
I think he might have changed one, and then they forgot to change the rest.
Yeah. Just
all right, but my question is though, because Liverpool played the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, they might have a less game. Let me have a
look.
No,
but no one picked them, Norm.
That's the thing.
We just picked the teams that were playing.
So
29, straight 29, Norm. Yeah, he just forgot to change the column for play. That's all.
I'll tell you,
he's only changed the ends. Yeah,
I'm gonna sack him. Yeah, I mean, listen, yo,
he's done a good job, man. He's been doing a good job, man.
Son, when you see this, when you watch his playback, bro, you're sacked. You're sacked.
He's not getting paid enough, man.
He sacked 2 people in one day. You know.
Like no, we have to give him blind. He's done a good job this season.
No, listen, big up to him, bro. Big up to him. Yeah, big up to him. But so as you can see, we're coming into the final countdown, so the next one is going to be game week 30, people.
Yeah, game week 30.
So it's going to be an interesting. Well, I'm going to try and see if I can catch Kofi. I don't know if I will. JP's chasing down Chile, and
Chile and me, yeah. And then I'm chasing down Eds.
Yeah, the only reason why JP is on such a he keeps going for Man United, and it reflects.
Yeah, just inconsistent, man. Yeah,
it simply tells you, that Man United have won 10 games.
Brothers, I'm going for Haaland's.
No, it is because he's always. I think there's one. Say it again, mate. Go.
I'm going for Haaland's goal record, 36.
Seen.
Yeah, I think there was one. No, I think there was one game that he didn't go for because somebody came in and do that. I'm sure of it. But for most of the season, JP refuses to back any other team apart from his team. That's where you see where he is.
So it's a pride thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? As well,
where's everybody else now? We've gone for our own teams. I know Ez goes for Chelsea, so Chelsea obviously have done a lot better.
Yeah.
But still, you know what I mean. But every now and again,
it's really me that goes for the other teams because
I go for other teams, man. I go for
because you got nervous, but initially he was going for Arsenal a lot, innit? Because if you look at it, if you look at me going for the teams, I know I've had one green all season, you know. Yeah, that green you see there is my only green in 28 in 29 games.
You know, most of the time I've gone for Brentford or Forest, so they're my bankers.
Yeah.
I noticed that, Kofi. I saw a pattern there.
Yeah, because Kofi started this in Liverpool.
I started going for like Brighton. Yeah, I went for Brighton on 2 weeks on the bout. I think Brighton and Bournemouth. Yeah, and then he got me the so that's.
But I noticed Chile got the same points as the amount of games lost in the season so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Chile, yeah.
That's crazy.
So listen, it's going to be interesting running. I mean, listen, we have to look at what the forfeit will be for the person that does. I mean, listen, Chile could get dragged down into that 6th place, and he may have to.
Yeah, JP could catch him still.
Jay can catch him. It's the running now, and now Man United have caught a bit of form. So let's see what happens there, mate. You know what I'm saying? But listen, people, really appreciate your time. I have to. The actual link is in the chat, so please click on that link. Normski raid to Rashid's channel. We're looking at the squad of 2019, and comparing it to the squad of 2025. So I'm going over there armed with some info, and hopefully it should be a great. It should be a great show. So literally, I'm going to be jumping on that channel as soon as I come off here. So people, before you leave out of here, please hit the like button, subscribe and share. Please subscribe to Yassa TV. Doing bits. Thanks for coming on, Yassa. First time on the show.
Yeah, big up yourself, bro.
Big up to you, man. Big up to Big D. Big up to Kofi Slot. Kofi, don't worry, man. You're lifting that Premier League at the end of the season. Yeah.
And if you don't, Kofi, you're gonna get cooked.
If you don't, you're gonna get cooked. You are gonna get cooked. I'll tell you that now.
Sauteed, mate. You're gonna get sauteed, my brother.
You'll see blank faces for the whole season, man.
You are gonna get cooked. But listen, people, hit the like button, subscribe and share if you're new, and people, we're out of here. Take care.
Yeah, man. Take care, guys.